Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to talk to you guys about my experiences with visual snow and how it's affected my life over the last 3 months, I would say. It definitely has been something that has been, very overwhelming to my life. But I have learned over the last 3 months to kind of keep pushing through and keep trying to do my duties at work and not let it affect me in terrible ways, but it still does. You know, you might even notice that watching this video, it looks staticky. And I thought, well, that right there would kind of show you what I experience on a day-to-day basis. It's how I see the world now. I guess without further ado, I'll get right on into it here. And I really want to thank, family and friends for being there for me. And Jesus too, for walking with me and giving me the push to make it through for sure. But I have been blessed, that's for sure. I can still see. I'm not like a blind person, that would love to have my vision. So I have to remember that I am blessed that I still have my vision. So, you know, I've had lots of good friends that kind of keep giving me the push. My fishing friends and ham radio friends and, just everybody that, I work with and stuff that's kind of been there and just, kind of helped me, push through. I really appreciate all y'all. So I guess without further ado, we'll just start back 2018. I kind of took a spell where I was having a lot of stomach pains and just almost, feeling really nauseous and just kind of, like I was folding over. And I went to ERs and urgent cares, and I learned that I had, the acid reflux. I even went as far as in 2020 to have my first scope done as well. Um, and there was, nothing but just a slight little bit of erosion then it was found, and that was because, I really had just started treating it, taking the medicines and stuff normal and keeping the acid at bay and all that. Uh, but as time went on and stuff, I kind of learned to cope with the acid reflux and had to kind of revamp my diet. I lost quite a bit of weight. I was down to 267 pounds at my lowest, and kind of discovered that I could eat some sweets at that time. And well, you know what? Next thing you know, we're back up to 300 range again. But over time, I started noticing some of these symptoms come about. Just kind of thinking back when I worked in Lexington, and I walked around the corner one day and just kind of looking up at the sky, noticed a quiver in my vision. And when I would walk inside our shop, where it was dimmer light, I didn't see it anymore. And then when I would walk back out, I would look and I would see that quiver. And I never really thought nothing about it at all. Just went on about my business and never thought about it again. And you know, time went on, and I got my new job, my new driving job, and I would look on the side of the vehicle. There would be, in blue contrast letters on there, and I noticed that my eyes would jump up and down kind of when I would see that. It would be like in a clear white color. It just kind of jumped around. I think they call it palinopsia. I think is what they call that. Um, but anyway, as time went on, uh, I even was sitting at a gas station and I noticed that, looking forward, I'd see a road sign and I would see the after image of that. When I would look away for several seconds, it would be like blue or maybe pink, just little hints and stuff as, that it kind of onsetted. And um, it's just one of them things that it's kind of unexplainable, and I didn't really think a whole lot about it at first. And, you know, it's just kind of weird, sitting here thinking about it. But, a few weeks before that this all kind of onsetted, I would look at like the road signs that had, uh, not road signs, but the gas station signs that had like the gas numbers posted in lights. And I would see that, and it would kind of give me an after image or a trailing image away from it. And one, I guess, recollection of like eye floaters and stuff too that I had was back when I was about 5 years old. I remember looking up at the sky and seeing the floaters. And I'd also seen, the blue field and topic phenomena before, and I never knew what it was. It just kind of, you would look up at the sky and you keep looking up at the sky, and then next thing you know, and you got these little white whirligigs flying in your vision, kind of almost like blood pressure is what I thought. I said, well, it's just looking up, blood pressure just a little bit lower or something, just kind of brushed off. Never thought nothing about it. I've always been kind of the busy person and stuff like that, and I always kept myself, pretty busy, especially the last few years since I got married, and I always was doing some kind of project around, and never thought about nothing like that. And I never had any static or anything in my vision before, so you know, just kind of brushed all that stuff off and thought it was normal. And then, you know, like other instances too, bending down, tying a shoe and raise up real quick, I'd see blue blotches, and I never thought about that either. I still do that. Maybe everybody does that to a point, when you strain. Maybe that's normal too. But um, another thing that I got to thinking about as well, um, my mom, uh, a few weeks before I was born, she had Bell's palsy, and she had fell out of a chair at work. And my sister told me after I was born that I had an eye swollen shut, and I'm making the assumption of that was probably whichever one that's the lazy eye here. There's one that's a little bit lazier than the other. It's always been that way all my life, and um, I think maybe that could be, what's going on, what's maybe caused it. Maybe it's caused an abnormality of my brain or something. But anyway, I guess fast forward in here a little bit. I did have, what I would say is maybe a little bit of light sensitivity over the years. And that might have been why my eyes would kind of hurt. And I'd get maybe just a very just slight tension headache after being out in the sun a lot. But I never thought about it. The eyes were over most of my adulthood have been very dry, and I'd always kind of had a little bit of trouble with this one eye. I'd always feel like it had something in it. And seemed like even when I was a kid, maybe it was that way too. So that's something that could be ongoing as well with that. But, um, fast forwarding to a couple weeks before the onset, I'd had a bad stomach bug, uh, and the onset of it was about a week after that bad stomach bug. Um, so maybe that was maybe a factor in it kicking in. I'm not sure. I also was working on my boat that a good friend of mine gave me, and I was working with fiberglass resin, and Bondo, and uh, just acetone, just several different smelly chemicals. But I did wear my PPE, and I made sure of it. That was a vow to me. I was not getting any of that stuff in my system if I could help it. But I bought me a new respirator. I wore that. I wore glasses, although I did get a little bit of Bondo dust when sanding, and I washed that out with some water. Just in my eyes, just dust. And the eye doctor said, well, he didn't see any harm in that when I was telling him about that. So I don't really think that, um, it was anything to do with the boat because I had these symptoms before that. I'd even woke up a couple months prior to the getting the snow, and I had those blue and like red blotches all in my vision, and it lasted for several seconds as I woke up that morning, and it went away, and my vision was back to what I would say is normal. But anyway, so after the stomach bug, about a week passed by, and a Saturday had come about, and I had woke up in the middle of the night, and I felt off. I felt like I was going to pass out. I just had a weird feeling about me. Things felt dimmer. Uh, my ears felt like they were, like I wasn't hearing like what I was, like everything had kind of calmed down. And it's just kind of weird. It's just like, oh, am I going to die, in the next little bit? And just kind of almost went into pretty much a panic attack. And I had laid down, and I told my wife to leave the light on. I kind of like was afraid of the dark or something. And she did, and she finally, after about 20 minutes, told me to go back to sleep. And I laid back down, and I went back to sleep. And I woke back up Sunday and still, felt like something was a little bit off. Like it was a little bit dimmer, the light was dimmer. And I just kind of brushed it off again and went to church. I was like, well, I'm really tired. I've been, fooling with the boat all weekend. And, we went to church, and we come back from church, and I washed the boat. And, piddled around the house, done some things around the house, and, didn't think nothing about it. And I went to bed Sunday night and woke back up the next morning, which was the next morning would have been 4:15:24. And before I got my eyes open, I know something was wrong. I seen that static, and I also noticed that both my ears were slightly ringing. And that's when my life changed for pretty much ever. Um, so, I mean, from then, went and had an eye exam done, and everything come out good with that. My eyes was perfect. That's when I talked about, the eye doctor about doing the boat stuff, and he didn't think that that's what caused that. And I told him I seen static and my ears ring, and he said that is neurological. He said that your eyes are, perfect condition. I'm 20/20. I just see the static like probably what you all are seeing right now everywhere, But it really, that part sucks. But I think that the tinnitus is definitely something that's a lot worse to deal with. But I'm just trying to keep on coping and trying to make the best of it. And that's pretty much all I can do. I, I don't know if I've really uh, think I've covered everything. It's just been an emotional roller coaster. Um, I just want to thank my family and friends and everybody for being there and trying to help me get through it. And I will do another video and update you guys of any other changes along the way. But thank you guys, and appreciate you watching my video. I'm not a very good talker, and I got a lot of stuff I'm running through my minds to try to tell you all what's going on. But yeah, thank y'all. Y'all have a good day. Have a blessed weekend. God bless.